Allow me to say a few words about today's symposium and the context in which it takes place. The symposium is set, in fact, within a much more extensive exercise, the World Humanitarian Summit. The World Humanitarian Summit, to be held in Istanbul in May 2016, will conclude a global consultation process started by the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, in 2012. Its purpose is to reshape the humanitarian system so it can efficiently address the growing humanitarian needs which are increasing in amplitude and variety within a fast-changing global environment. The Istanbul Summit is focused on 4 themes: humanitarian effectiveness, managing risks and reducing vulnerability, transformation through innovation, as well as serving the needs of people in conflict. It is this last issue, serving the needs of people in conflict, that interests most our symposium. Millions of people are fleeing from wars and violence. 9 deaths out of 10 are civilians. 100 years ago, 90% of war victims were military. Today, 90% of deaths are civilian. Most victims are women and children. Refugees are dramatically increasing. Today, we will debate about religions and conflict, the contribution of faith-based actors in areas of conflict and war, and the role of religions in promoting reconciliation and strengthening resilience. The symposium is divided into 2 high-level panel discussions, each covering one topic. The first high-level panel will examine present challenges for faith-based institutions, religions and humanity in times of conflict and crisis. The second high-level panel will deal with preparing for the future. How can faith-based institutions better assist and protect civilians? A central question is, do faith-based institutions have an added value? We think they do, but who else think the same? Is this opinion coming only from the Order of Malta or from some other religious institutions understandably fond of this idea? Not only. The Office of United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, is a secular organization, and nevertheless, it has always found that the work carried on by faith-based institutions is invaluable. Why? Because, quote, as active members of civil society, faith actors and their organizations can leverage significant social, physical, and spiritual assets for the benefit of population in need, unquote. The UNHCR has expressed this idea on several occasions. More specifically, 2 years ago, following a 2-day meeting with 400 FBOs. On that occasion, the High Commissioner for Refugees emphasized the valuable contribution that faith-based institutions, organizations, and communities make to protect refugees and displaced persons. Faith actors, as reported in HCR documents, are widely present in every country and therefore also in areas of conflict due to their vast networks. Moreover, their presence does not necessarily depend upon external or international funding. They often remain long after international attention has faded and funding has declined. The good practices of religious actors are well known throughout the world. Religious actors provide protection, assistance, and care, facilitate humanitarian access, deter violence through their presence, mediate tensions between refugees and host communities, engage in reconciliation and peace-building activities, provide legal counseling and asylum management, improve the conditions of prisoners, and, finally, support the integration of refugees in society. We must also admit that although religion can be a fantastic multiplier of humanitarian assistance, it can also be a source of conflict. This happens when antagonism or exclusion is expressed by religious actors towards members of another faith, when pressure is exerted to convert, when we witness practices considered harmful by shared legal and ethical international standards. We should not deny or ignore the perversions that religions can take in the hands of men. The values of religion, which are the key for reconciliation and peace, are too often manipulated for the pursuit of power and profit through violence. This has happened multiple times over the centuries in the name of all religions. And it continues today when religious texts are manipulated and extremists claim to find in them justifications to their criminal behavior. There is no doubt that religion nowadays has become a critical international issue. The United States Department of State, for example, has recently established the Office of Religion and Global Affairs to advise the Secretary of State on foreign policy matters related to religion. Such decision recognizes the strong intersection between religion, global issues, and foreign policy. With 84% of the world's population identifying itself with a particular faith, it is no wonder that governments are taking this powerful force in global politics and civil society seriously. It is not only this figure that justifies the increased attention given to faith-based actors in humanitarian field. This attention is also warranted because of the dramatically expanding dynamics between religion, conflict, and the repercussion this has on the humanitarian action. I am glad that we have the opportunity today to explore these dynamics in depth, and I wish you a stimulating afternoon. Thank you very much.